Welcome to another episode of FML, and today I'm going to put lowering springs on the sweet minivan. Today we are going to put lowering springs on the minivan. If you followed me on Facebook, you would know that I stuck the V12 rims onto the minivan, and I kind of dig the look. And what we got going on here is just really big wheel gaps, and I've been driving on these and they kind of, look at that. I've been driving on these and they've been rubbing up against here, so we are going to roll the lips on here too while we're at it. New shocks, lip roller, lowering springs. Let's get to work.
Cycles beautiful, nothing's ever home, young and busy, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, you know what.
So here's what we got going on. This shock is shot. When I came out of the house this morning, I noticed a pile of oil underneath it, and it just leaked all its oil out, so that was a good time. The springs on here look actually pretty good. Somebody replaced these not that long ago, so we're gonna get that out. I got some tool that I never used before, so this should be fun. But first, I'm gonna roll my lip.
Nothing's ever home, young and busy, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, nothing's ever home, young and busy, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, fear communist on, you know what that means now, sharing, tear it all down, give a fuck if it's load bearing, and I keep it live for the state, man, I'm so daring, revolution brought a new cultural daring, for progress, at all costs.
So that's the process for rolling the lip on there. As you can see, my paint started cracking, and which I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I didn't care because I need to do body work on this side anyways, so I wasn't too concerned about it. I just wanted to see how this reacted, and I know that on the other side I will heat up the paint a little bit to stop this from happening. Use a heat gun, warm it up. Don't melt it, just warm it up. And that should stop this paint from cracking, but like I said, don't care. I got rust, don't matter. Now on to the shock and the spring.
Nothing's ever home, young and busy, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, nothing's ever home, young and busy, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, fear communist on, you know what that means now, sharing, tear it all down, give a fuck if it's load bearing, and I keep it live for the state, man, I'm so daring, revolution brought a new cultural daring, for progress, at all costs.
Alright, we got our spring in. Basically all you had to do is remove this 18mm bolt that's right there, and the assembly comes down. I had a jack underneath it to help support it and go up and down. We got our shock in, everything's bolted up and tight. Everything looks good. Since the spring was so easy to get to, I'm gonna order these new pads down here. That one was pretty chewed up. Probably just get a top one too while I'm at it. Get that changed out later down the road. And with that, we'll put our wheel back on and go on the other side, and then we'll do the fronts. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. Alright, so I was working on the driver's side of this thing and this control arm broke. So FML, now I gotta figure this out. Here's a closer look of what we got going on here. Right here, I tried drilling. I'm just gonna go to the junkyard and get this piece and the hub, and we're just gonna switch it all out so we can just change the spring on this thing. Welcome to day 2 of, ultimately it's gonna be a 5. This is probably gonna be a 5-day project now because I broke a bolt over there yesterday. Spent probably a good 3 hours drilling it out. It's been fun. So today, since nothing's open, I can't get any parts, I'm going to work on the front and do the struts, at least get something done, and then when I get all the parts I need for the back, we'll button this thing up. And until then, my wife is happy with driving the Mercedes wagon, and she doesn't want to give it back to me, so marriage problems. Welcome to day 3 of, we're gonna go with 6 now. I got nothing done yesterday. I basically took a video saying that it's gonna be 5 days, and that was it. A bunch of other stuff came up, so we are going to today on day 3 work on the front of this thing.
Nothing's ever home, don't embrace the old, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, nothing's ever home, don't embrace the old, destruction was slow, cycles beautiful, fear communist on, you know what that means, no sharing, tear it all down, give a fuck if it's load bearing, anarchy for life, all the same, metal so daring, revolution, born a new cultural tearing, for progress, at all costs.
Alright, update time. So, we have our nuts off the top, we got our bolts off here, we got our brake line off, ABS wire off, the sway bar link, it was just turning in there, I couldn't get a grip on it, so I'm just cutting them off and ordering new ones. So we're just gonna move on with our life. And in case anybody is wondering, Harbor Freight Sawzall blades are garbage. Also, probably not a surprise, their drill bits are garbage too. Spend a couple extra dollars and get the good ones, folks. Alright, now I'm going to take out this last bolt, and then the strut assembly should come down and out. Down and out. Alright, and with that, our strut is out. Right there. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the bolts or the nuts for the top of the strut are way down in there. So that should make for a good time putting it back in by myself. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Now time to compress and put our lowering spring on there and get that done.
Nothing's ever home, don't embrace the old, so, cycle's beautiful. Nothing's ever home. Young to place the old. Destruction will slow, cycle's beautiful. Fear communist on, you know what that means now. Sharing, tear it all down. Give a fuck if it's load bearing. Anarchy for life, all the same metal so daring. Revolution brought a new cultural daring. For progress.
So I'm a little disappointed in H&R. We got our spring off, a little bit on the sketchy side. I wish I had one of those like tools where you just put the strut in there and you just bloop, and the spring comes out. I'm not balling yet, so this is what we got to do. But the problem is that H&R has their springs labeled upside down and wrong. So this is actually the right side, and this is the left side. So if you guys are doing this and you made it this far into the video, pay attention, because that'll probably mess something up and you probably don't want to take all this apart again. And let's get our spring installed before it rains. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Nothing's ever home. Young to place the old. Destruction will slow, cycle's beautiful. Nothing's ever home. Young to place the old. Destruction will slow, cycle's beautiful. Fear communist on, you know what that means now. Sharing, tear it all down. Give a fuck if it's load bearing. Anarchy for life, all the same metal so daring. Revolution brought a new cultural daring. For progress. At all
Alright guys, we got the front driver's side done, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was expecting more. A lot more. It's supposed to be an 1.5 inch drop, and that does not look like an 1.5 inches to me. I went backwards and forward to kind of see if it'll settle a little bit, and I know the springs will compress a little bit once I start driving on them, but I was expecting quite a bit more of a drop here. Here's the passenger side, and this is running a stock spring. Almost looks lower. H&I. Stock. So I'm a little disappointed. We'll see if things settle a little bit more once we get this passenger side done, and hopefully it gets better. And so with that Top Gear bombshell, we're gonna call it a night. Clouds are getting gray hopefully it's not raining in the morning. We'll go to the parts store, pick up the other sway bar link. We gotta go to Honda, pick up nuts and bolts. Then we gotta go to the junkyard and get the lower control arm and the hub assembly. So be a lot of driving around tomorrow, but hopefully we can get this thing buttoned up and make it a 4-day project and not a 6-day project. But who knows what we'll find over there.